Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole bringing you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on what time you are watching this live. Hello, crew. Hope all is well. Make sure you hit the likety like button on the way in. Hit the like and hit the hype for your girl. My apologies. I did not plan to go live earlier when I was creating the live around that time. For whatever reason, it didn't set for this evening. So I never decided to go live at 11 o'clock in the morning. While I was getting prepared for this live, I noticed that the time did not change to 7:17 p.m. So my apologies, okay? But yes, it wasn't like I missed the live or something happened and I decided to reschedule it. That wasn't the plan to go live at that time. So with that being said, hello Danielle. So yeah, my apologies for those who are probably around like, where is she? I was chilling. I was doing the normal Sunday stuff I need to do before I have to go to work tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, let's get started with this review, shall we? Of Ready to Love season 11, episode 8. So the girls are in power this episode, and they have to actually not meet their exes, but they have to introduce the besties to the men. Okay. And I think Dominique was like, well, I wish you would have said we gonna have to introduce them to the exes, not my best friends. But okay, if that's what we got to do, fine. So that is their actual job this episode, is to have their friends meet the gentleman. All right. So with that, the first person we see is Ashante with her two friends, and she has them meet Bello, Steven, and Carday. Okay. So if I can be honest, Carday was boring as all hell this episode. It was almost like him and Devon reverted back to their first freaking episode. It's like, how were you guys getting so comfortable to now being totally uncomfortable? But with that being said, they asked Carday about him protecting his woman, or how he will protect the woman. And Ashante was like, yeah, answer that question. You need to tell them the story about your ex-day. And he was like, well, my ex-day, I was just trying to let them talk, let them get everything out. And she was like, yeah, whatever. Like, I still don't like the fact how, you didn't protect me like you should have. They feel like he was giving textbook answers. Bello, they asked Bello, does he feel like, he's Muslim and Ashante is spiritual? And does he feel like that he is going to have Ashante or need Ashante to convert to being Muslim? And he said no. Now, her friend, the one with like the midriff top or whatever, she is actually Muslim, okay? They had a little Arabic back and forth or whatnot. And so, he said, no, she's not going to have to convert. I will stay Muslim. I will practice Muslim. She can practice whatever spirituality she chooses. Now, Steve, they said Steve is cool. And they said the problem with Steve, though, is that he needs to gain some confidence. And if he could gain some confidence, it would be winner, winner, chicken dinner. And so at that point, though, Ashante said, well, I'm going to need for Steve to be a little bit more romantic or whatever. And it was like, well, you can teach him that. And they said Cardi is boring. I agree. But interesting enough, they said Bello is fronting and saying, oh, trust and believe, if y'all get serious, he's going to want you to convert to being Muslim. And mind you, the main person who said that is her Muslim friend. So if anybody would know, it would be her. Okay. Which is very interesting, because one thing about it, if y'all remember, let's go back to Love and Hip Hop. Y'all remember Love and Hip Hop New York in that season when Consequence, the one with the teeth, he got his teeth done, but his teeth still look backwards to me, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, Consequence and his woman at the time, remember, he was Muslim, she's not Muslim. And honestly, that was a big thing between them, that they just could not get together, is his his religion versus her religion. And that was a big issue. And he almost was trying to convert her to becoming Muslim. So I honestly believe that. Y'all let me know if y'all know Muslim men who aren't trying to convert their women to be Muslim. If y'all can find it, by all means, please let me know, especially this generation. But yeah, I found that to be very, very interesting that she said that. Meanwhile, Shannon meets with her friend Mercedes. Now I find out, because y'all know I haven't been watching Ready to Love since the beginning. I find out that she was on Ready to Love, Mercedes on Ready to Love Miami. Y'all let me know what she was like on Ready to Love Miami. But at that point, you know, Shannon's like, grill them, girl, drill them, because at the end of the day, I know you done been through this, so you let me know what's going on. So Mercedes and Shannon meet with Devon, Steven, and Darius. And let me tell you, child, this was hard to watch. Now, let's talk about this. Mercedes says, well, Shannon has 3 connections. She has multiple connections. That's why all 3 of you are here. So how many connections do you have? And so Devon was like, oh, wow, okay, you're going to ask me that question. Well, I'll say 4. And she's like, 4? She's like, well, it starts off with 10. And so how many are there left? And so he's like 6. And like, oh, what's the math on that, teacher? Asking Steve. And he's like, oh, that's like 66%. And, you know, while I understand the friend has to grill the man to really see who's real and who's not, I was a little confused on why she can have multiple connections, but they can't. That's what the show was all about until they get to the final stretch. And it's like, okay, you really have to make a decision. But at this point, they all have multiple connections. That's why 3 men are there. So I don't know, but I feel like she purposely did that to see who was going to handle the hot seat well. The problem is Devon did not handle that hot seat well. And I loved Devon for Shannon, all right? But eventually what he says is Shannon is in his top 2. Steven says Shannon falls in his top 3, and Darius says Shannon has climbed to 1 or 2. Whatever, Darius, whatever. So Shannon is like, okay, that's a problem for her, that she is not kind of like number 1 or like the it girl. And so Darius tells Shannon and Mercedes he's never been married before. Ha! And he has 4 kids. Okay. All right. We need receipts and we need proof, sir, like I said. So at this point, another thing that he says is he has been in a relationship before for 11 years. And they was like, well, why didn't it lead to marriage? Well, things didn't work out. We weren't aligned. You know, and it didn't work out for them to get married. And I'm thinking, like, let me tell you something. That's a red flag. Unless this relationship happened when y'all were like 18, you know, teenagers, even like early 20s. Yeah, but 11 years, like that's a little interesting. Okay, red flag for me. But Shannon says by 6 months, you should know what you want as far as if you want that person or not. Now, the guys are saying they feel like it's a year. I don't know, you guys. I've always heard that typically men within 6 to 8 months kind of already know if you're going to be the one for them or not. I've always heard that. Now, y'all let me know if with the times, if it has stretched a little bit. But I didn't see anything wrong with her saying like 6 months, you kind of already know. Now, that don't mean that you get married, of course, but that you know that this could be something that is definitely long term. But with that being said, Darius says that he's looking for money. I'm sorry. I mean marriage. Yeah, he said he was looking for marriage. We'll see, Darius. We'll see. But he's like, yeah, he's looking for marriage. I'm like, okay, shoo away. So Mercedes is like, okay, yeah, thank you guys. And then she turns to Shannon and says, don't pick any of these ninjas. Don't pick them. Like at the end of the day, I'm a little concerned that you in the top 3, but none of them said you was like number 1. And Shannon's like, yeah, I feel you, girl. At this point, I wouldn't choose any of them. And to a certain extent, I don't blame her because they all seemed a little hesitant, like they was just all freaking nervous. The most confident one was Darius. And clearly, yeah, that's not going to be the case. Devon, man, like literally, I feel with Devon, the mask finally came off. Devon is the cornball. He is the nerd. He is the corny dude. He turned into Cat Daddy for the show so he could try to stay on the show, but I don't think that's just who he naturally is. The corny Poindexter is who he is, and that is perfectly fine because corny and Poindexter is safe, okay? It's safe. But I feel like he lost his swag because he just really didn't have that swag to begin with. You know what I'm saying? It was hard for him, especially with all of the other men that was there. He just felt like he was so small. And I'm like, that means you never had that confidence in the first place. But yeah, it was hard to watch because I really felt like Devon and Shannon would have been that perfect couple. But moving on, child, to Lauren and her friends. She got some beautiful friends. Lauren is beautiful. I just didn't know what was up with that one piece of gray hair at the top. It was given the evil lady from 100 Dalmatians. What's her name? What's the 101 Dalmatians lady? Cruella de Vil? Is that the one who had that streak of gray in her hair? It's given that. Beautiful girl, but I was just really confused by that piece of gray hair. I don't know, baby girl, but you know, hey, do you. You definitely a pretty girl and you rocked it like you owned it. So it is what it is. But Lauren is having them meet Vince, Bello, and Steven. All right. And so Bello is there and they pretty much looking at him like, you should be a politician. And I was like, when someone says you should be a politician, honey, you know what that means. You giving some BS answers. So anyway, he was laughing at it, but I was like, yeah, that's not a good sign, sir. That's not a good sign. One thing about it, I'm shocked that she had Vince in her top 3. Like, are they forced to have certain people, even if they don't have a connection or not? Like, ma'am, are you that forgiving with him calling you a tall biatch? Like that you have him in your top 3? Like, do your best friends know he called you a tall biatch? I guess. So with that, after Bello, they meet Vince. And child, we get into the conversation about his height. And so they were like, well, how tall are you? And he said, I'm 6'2". And he was like, are you a real 6'2" or a man 6'2"? Because y'all like to add inches. And I was like, do men like to add inches on their height? I know they like to add inches elsewhere. Now, I know, ladies, we done heard that plenty times before, how many inches they are somewhere else. And you know, we find out it's a lie. I mean, we definitely know they lie about those inches. I didn't know men lie about their height because it's really easy to find out. But with that being said, they were like, well, how tall are you? And he was like, where is this going? Like, where is this coming from? Where is this going? It was like, well, she is a taller woman. She's 6 feet. She also likes to wear heels, which would make her 6'3", 6'4". And so, you know, just asking you where, you know, how tall are you? And he said, so you're asking me if I'm comfortable with her height? And they was like, no, we just want to know how tall are you? And he said, well, it's still the same as 6'2". Now, while I see them drilling can also feel like a little bit of intimidation, I'm gonna need for these men to just sit up there and like, I don't know what these men expected. You're meeting their best friends, and us women, we will drill men. Even if it's in a nice way, we're going to keep asking questions to see if you're going to be right for our girl. So I don't know, like I understand because it was coming off like they kept harping on his height. But I also felt like he kept dancing around it too. Like at the end of the day, I'm 6'2". And then when they said, did your doctor say you was 6'2"? Or, you know, and I feel like the reason why they asked that is because if she's 6 feet, okay, they said Lauren is 6 feet. Naturally, if she's seeing you stand right next to her, if you're not taller than her, she clearly knows you're not 6'2". Because later on, when she was talking to her friend, she said he's 6 feet. Why does she know he's 6 feet? Because she probably stood right next to him and realized, oh, he's not taller than me. You got to have a couple more inches taller than her for you to be 6'2". So the fact that he was like, well, the answer's still the same is because they were probably trying to see if he was telling the freaking truth or he was going to eventually tell the truth. And he kept dancing around it. So I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think the best friends went too hard, or was he dancing around it too much, trying to figure out where is this coming from? Baby, your height is your height. Okay. And I don't know if she really cared that much. She probably more concerned about your height between your legs. But anywho, with that being said, yeah, so I don't know. But with that, interesting enough, they meet Steven, and Steven, well, one thing that they liked about Vince is that Vince said he has 2 kids. He doesn't necessarily care if he has any more kids or not. Steven, of course, is saying, yes, he wants to have kids or at least one child. And he said, you know what I'm saying, the connection is there between him and Lauren. Now, what's interesting is that her friends actually like Vince for her, saying that Vince has a strong personality and she needs that type of personality. Everybody is saying they don't feel like Steven is confident enough. He's not assertive enough. So they were like, definitely that strong personality. I'm like, yeah, but that strong personality called her a tall bitch. And see, that strong personality seems to sometimes get probably a little bit too emotional. And he seems like when he goes off the handle, he could call her a bitch again. But she said she's kind of on a roller coaster of emotion when it comes to Vince. Like, she likes him, but then sometimes she doesn't. Like, do I need to be protected? Like, are you going to protect me, or do I need to get protection from you? So it was interesting. But I understand that they said that she needs to have a man with a strong personality. Personally, I don't think, if I can be honest, I don't think Lauren is a match for any of these men. I don't. I really don't think Lauren is a match for any of these men. Like, maybe potentially it would have been Bello, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even think she looks at Bello as a major contender. So I don't know if Lauren is going to leave out of there with Ready to Love with any man, but that's just my personal opinion. So then we have Ashley. And Ashley is having Darius and Corday meet with her friend, child. And so Corday, of course, is giving weird. It's giving boring. It's giving textbook as usual. Meanwhile, Darius is saying, of course, all the right things. You know, he's a smooth criminal. So he definitely knows how to say the right things. And she's smiling and yes. Oh, yes. Darius is my top one. But she says she still feels like she's meeting Darius' representative. And she wants to see the vulnerable. She wants to see the real. And she wants to know, why didn't he tell her friend what would make her a wife for him, or a good wife for him? And I'm like, girl, money. All you got to have is money, honey. That's all. All you got to have is money, Ashley, and you'll be good to go. I'm just playing. Maybe I'm not just playing. But anywho, so Corday, of course, they was like, yeah, I mean, he cool, but he awkward and he kind of boring. It's going to be, in my personal opinion, between Corday and Devon. It's Corday and Devon that's going to be the ones that are going to get the chop and be on the chopping block next episode. Because they definitely were both giving awkward and boring with every single meetup they had. So then we have Donna. Okay. And Donna has her friends meet with Steven and Vince. Now, this is where it gets interesting. And Donna definitely seems like the type where she always asks for other people's advice, but she really don't want other people's advice. They have Vince sitting there. And so they said, well, what about marriage? Like, are you ready for marriage? Are you dating for marriage? And he says, no, I'm not dating for marriage. I'm dating on, like, pretty much dating to get to know someone. They said, are you dating with intention? Like, no, I'm just dating to get to know someone. They said, well, do you want to be married? Baby, that was a long pause. It was like crickets. And they was kind of looking at him like, you gonna answer? And he said he doesn't mind being married again. He also, and they said, well, look, she wants to be married and have kids. He said, I don't mind having other children, but I also don't mind if I don't have any more children. And I'm like, see, okay. See, this is the problem, because Donna had already said that she tends to ignore red flags when she really likes someone. She said that literally before this freaking dinner in the confessional. All right. And so at this point, I'm thinking, like, so why in the hell are you here? All of these women want kids, maybe except for Lauren. It seems like Lauren doesn't have a problem popping out another kid, but if she's okay with just keeping her sons, she's good. So Steven comes in and gives them answers that they want to hear. You know, he, teacher, you know, wants kids, wants to get married. I think Steven's still scared of Donna and her. We moving in after 30 days. I don't think it was 30 days, but damn near it was too damn soon. So at that point, when Steven leaves, her friends say, Steven is better for you. He wants what you want. You know what I mean? Like, that's the best option for you. I'm kind of, iffy with Vince being where he is in life if he's going to give you what you want. And what does Donna do? She doesn't know about her friend's decision. And there's still time. She doesn't necessarily know about getting rid of Vince or just focusing all of her eggs in one basket with Steven. See, this is the problem. And so what in the hell did you bring them there for? Because you already said you ignore red flags when you like someone, and you're ignoring the red flags of Vince. The man ain't even worried about getting married or having any more kids, and you want marriage and kids. That's a red flag. Listen to what he's saying. Whether they're joking, or even if because he wasn't joking, he straight up said it. He's not a guarantee on any of those. Why are you going to waste your time? Why? And I can't stand people who ask me for my opinion, but still want to sit up there and give another freaking answer or be like, oh, well, I don't know about what you're saying. Well, then what the hell you asked me for then? So her friends, and they clearly probably know how she is. And of course, she's a mathematician. PhD and all. She probably doing all of them damn calculations, trying to find out the risk and the risk of the relationship. Y'all remember that movie Along Came Polly? And that man was always putting women in databases to see who was the higher risk. That's what Donna gives me. That's what Donna gives me. But I was just like, girl, like, you ignoring the red flags when it comes to Vince. Now moving on to Dominique and her fly girls, her fly crew. Let me tell y'all something. They was fly. I gotta give it to them. I ain't mad at it. When I tell you, I said, oh my gosh, like, you definitely could tell when they walk up in the room, they the fly girls. Because when I tell you hair was on point, makeup was on point, the clothes was on point, they had their stuff together. Both of them had their little jackets over their shoulders. They was not playing. It was given like, yeah, we them chicks. And I ain't mad at it. I love to see confident women, especially confident women who are friends with each other and lift each other up. Love to see it. But let's go again. Bello, Devon, and Cardi. Cardi, them funky little flowers, the funky little rose is not working, baby. It's not. I think you think that's going to help you, but it's not. So they asked Devon if he's trying to figure out, that's another thing too. Devon, what the hell do you have on? See, this is what I'm saying. He's tired of wearing the mask. He's tired of it. He probably ready to get off the show. You got Bello and Cardi at least attempting to have on, you know what I'm saying, some of their best suits or whatever. Devon walk in like, yeah, I have on my polo shirt, and yeah, I have on my khakis, and that's just what it is. He don't care. So they're trying to figure out, what's going on with Devon, and Devon is saying he's trying to figure out who's the right one for him. And, he was like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out who's the right one for me. Isn't that what the process is about? And I'm like, yeah, that is what the process is about. But he just seemed to be very awkward. He seemed to be very, just not there. just really not there. And I was like, I don't know what the issue is, because it's not like any of his top girls have left. So again, the only thing I could think of is that he just got tired of this facade with the sunglasses, walking in all the time and wearing the little cat daddy suits and stuff. That's just not who he is. And he was selling something that makes him not who he is. And at the end of the day, he's quirky, he's a little corny, you know what I'm saying, has a good job, you know, but he definitely is a little bit awkward. And that's who he really is. He's nervous as hell. I'm surprised we didn't see him sweating. Bello walks in and he feels the tension. He said, well, dang, like the tension is thick up in here. I don't know what's going on. They seem to like Bello's answers. They like Bello and what he has to say. But still, most of the attention goes on Devon, because Dominique is like, I don't know what the heck. Devon came in like a gray cloud. Like, I don't know what's going on with him. And, you know, Devon's like, you know, this is awkward. Like the tension, like the whole energy is awkward. And, you know, Carday sitting next to my girl. And Dominique was like, well, look, where's the freaking Devon that I've gotten to know? Like, why you act like you can't tell my friends how you feel about me? And he's like, well, you know how I feel about you. She's like, don't tell me, tell my friends. Tell my friends how you feel about me. And he's like, okay. And so Dominique is like, what the hell is up with him? Like, what's going on? Because you're meeting the true Devon. He's awkward. He is awkward. Okay. And I don't know what week this is as far as filming is concerned, but at a certain point, depending on the person, the mask is going to come off quickly. Unless you are a smooth criminal like allegedly Darius, some people can't hold on that long. Okay, they just can't hold on that long. So at that point, Dominique looking at Devon like she ready to slap him. She don't even recognize that Carday and Bello were in the room anymore. Carday was like, I don't really feel bad for Devon, because you know you're gonna be in the hot seat when it comes to her friends. Like, these are women, they're gonna put you in the hot seat. This man, Devon, failed literally during Shannon and Dominique. Mind you, they are definitely his top two. So in my personal opinion, he's definitely going to be in the bottom. And I think Carday is going to also be in the bottom for sure. Now, who's going to leave? Some tell me Devon's going to go. This is Devon's last week, but I could be wrong, but I feel like this is Devon's last week. Devon looked like he was over it. He looked like he was over it. He was done. He did not want to do it anymore. He's over playing the games. You know, whether it's the game of just staying as long as possible on a reality show, or he was just tired of it, period. I don't know what was wrong with Devon, but I tell you this much. This episode, it was just okay. And I feel like because of the awkwardness with the light-skinned crew, when you really look at it, the light-skinned boys all were awkward as hell. Devon, freaking Carday, and Steven. They all were awkward as hell and lacked confidence. Boy, oh boy. Oh my gosh. What is up with y'all light-skinned light brights? I'm going to need for y'all to gain some confidence. If this was the 80s, would you have the confidence since light-skinned man was in style back then? Help me understand. But honestly, when I really think about it, it was really the light-skinned light brights who were all awkward as hell. But yeah, I think the two light brights of Carday and Devon, they're going to be in the bottom two. But y'all let me know who y'all think is going to get the axe for sure. But before we can find out who got the axe, you just see Dominique giving, you know what I'm saying, Devon the eyes like, Ninja, you about to get effed up because you embarrassing in front of my friends. And then the episode goes off. But with that being said, this was just an average episode. I feel like it was like a filler episode. We will definitely see how many freaking episodes is in this season. We're on episode 8. So I'm going to guess anywhere between 10 and 12. I'm waiting for that argument between, I believe it was Darius and Vince. I'm waiting for that argument. Because I think Darius was telling him he need to shut the F up, and Vince looked really scared. Vince looked so scared in that small little clip. I'm waiting for that to show up. It doesn't seem like this next episode is going to be that episode, but I'm wondering, do we only have 2 more episodes left? I feel like that's not enough time, because how many we got? 4 and 4. No, 6. I'm sorry, we got 6 and 6, right? So yeah, we definitely at least got, I'm hoping, like 4 more episodes until this is over with. But y'all let me know who y'all think is gonna get the chop next episode. And then y'all also let me know at this point, who do you feel is actually gonna be a match? I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. I can't figure out who is actually going to be a match for this season. Ugh. Maybe Steven and Donna, or Steven and Lauren. Maybe. You know, I was guessing last season, and I said I wasn't going to guess this season because last season was so disappointing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know who I can see is going to be ready to love at the end of this. It doesn't seem like anybody right now is giving me guarantee. The only one I could think of that could potentially be a guarantee, who? Maybe Bello and Dom. Bello and Dominique. I feel like they could potentially be an option. They could potentially be an option for sure. But yeah, with that being said, you guys, let me know, who was Mark Anthony? Mark Anthony, are you talking about the Miami Ready to Love? If that's what you're talking about, all I could see was his eyebrows, honey. He definitely has some thick eyebrows. But I was talking about like Mercedes, her friend. Like, how was she on the show? Y'all let me know how she was on the show. Yeah, I explained that earlier, Shayla. The time did not change. I always meant to go live at this time. I don't know what happened when I set up my live, but it should have always been 7:17. So that's where I was just like, I don't know what the heck is going on. But when I was doing my live, getting my live ready, I was like, why does this say like 11:20 a.m., which is my time? I was like, absolutely not, because I typically don't go that early. Y'all know I don't go that early. I usually try to get everything done during the weekend, and then I do my lives in the evening. So if you ever see a random early in the day and I don't come on, just know that probably means that something went on with the system, because your girl typically does not go on that early. But yeah, so with that being said, you guys, that was the episode. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Let me know if y'all felt like they was too hard on Devon. Y'all feel like they was too hard on Devon? Do you feel like Lawrence France was going too hard about the height situation? Or do you feel like Vince was tippy-toeing around it because maybe he's not 6'2"? Y'all let me know what y'all think. And then, of course, let me know what y'all felt about Darius talking about he want to get married and he got 4 kids. Yeah, y'all let me know what y'all thought about that, baby. That was baby, let me tell y'all something. After doing that live yesterday, and shout out to all those who listened to my live and did the replay gang. But let me tell you something. After doing that live and getting all of that tea, and to watch this episode, and that man said he want to get married, and I think he said he had also never been married. Now, again, we have not seen the marriage certificate. There is definitely somebody who was going super hard for Darius in my freaking chat, literally today. I mean, going super hard on that freaking Darius live. Again, Darius also said on his own freaking Instagram page that no one can speak on his behalf. He gonna speak on his own behalf. So, ma'am, like I said, I don't know if you lying or not. I don't know. But at this point, Darius is the only one who needs to speak up, and we'll listen to Darius at this point. At the end of the day, it seems like you're really upset with this Nicole girl. And if anything that you're saying is true, I get it. But I'm not having anybody speak on Darius' behalf. I feel like that's his problem in the first place. Women speaking on his behalf. Let him speak for himself. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, you guys, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's continue the conversation in the comments. And again, please like, share, hype up your girl, subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. Toodles.